It's been over a week since she landed, and we're finally getting to see what Foodie is actually up to in Kuwait. I don't know about you, but I was kind of excited to see what sorts of foods and drinks she'd try while she was over there. All we have so far are a couple of brief mentions about food, a fish dish, and this takeout Turkish kebab. And of course, let's not forget about the very romantic Burger King. In any case, I thought I'd recreate some of the dishes she's having, just to see what they're like. I'm starting with her Instagram post of some very yummy looking Turkish food. I looked it up and it seems to be Adana kebab. Traditionally, this is made with a mixture of beef and lamb and grilled over hot coals. It looks like she had hers with some fries and fresh flatbread, but I'm going to serve my ground beef version with just a piece of pita. Don't worry, it'll be pretty close. Before we get started, let's take a look at some of the TikTok recipes that inspired me. I started this a little late, so I didn't want to use the food processor. Chopping it by hand was more similar to the second recipe that I watched. As I was prepping my veggies, I realized that this reminded me so much of Natter's meatloaf recipe. Remember the one with the carrot rolled up inside? Yeah, this was just like that. Looking back, this would probably have been better if I had used a food processor, or at least blitzed the herbs. The recipes all called for red bell pepper, but the orange ones look better at my store. If you do decide to try this recipe and go for the hand chopping method, try to get everything as fine as possible. One of my favorite parts of Middle Eastern recipes is adding in the spices. Unlike what I'm used to in Asian cuisine, these can be smoky, mellow, or even just tangy. I'm eyeballing my measurements here and going for a combination of two different recipes. One of the simpler ones only called for salt and peppers. If you can't find some of these locally, just look on Amazon. I'm going for medium spicy, so I'm not going to add a ton of red pepper or cayenne. This tomato paste in a tube is really great if you can find it. Just dump all the ingredients in the ground beef and start mixing. You want to make sure everything is well combined. Shaping the kebabs can be a little tricky. I've found that the trick is to make a little patty in your hands in the shape of a flattened oval. Get it pretty thin and then press it onto the skewer. If you don't have metal skewers, wooden ones will work too. The instructions had me cook this at 400 for a total of 20 minutes. Similar to what Foodie had, I'm serving these on a warm pita with some red onions sliced up with some sumac and lime juice. She probably had a tahini-based sauce to drizzle on, but I'm using tzatziki. Somehow, by mixing the red onions with the lime juice and sumac, it created a very crispy condiment that wasn't overpowering. I actually think that might be my favorite part of this whole dish. The meat itself was beautifully seasoned, but I really do think that you need a grill, or at least a grill pan, to make this work. Luckily, I have both, and I saved half of the meat mixture to try a second attempt. You definitely need a tahini or tzatziki sauce to sort of cool everything down. Otherwise, it's just a piece of meat and bread. I really wish I had gotten some fresh lavash or only used half of the pita. This was a bit much, but easily fixed if you pick off the excess dough. All in all, this was a very tasty dish and not too difficult to make at all. Once you've got the shaping down, I think it'll be faster to make it down the line. One recipe called for adding baking soda to keep the meat tender. I might try that next time. These Turkish kebabs definitely fit the bill for one of Foodie's favorite food profiles. They're very nicely seasoned, hearty and filling, without being too much. These would be really great with a side of fattoush salad. If you've got most of the spices, give this a try. You won't regret it. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. Did you like this recipe? Should I keep following along in Foodie Beauty's food adventures? I'd love to hear from you.